Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you the patch 3.4a jungle tier list in order to be able to show you what are the best jungle champions right now. As compared to the list that I've made previously, there has been minor changes, but generally, it still stays the same. Starting from the C tier, we have Dr. Mundo, Malphite, Akshan, Darius, and Shen. All of these champions are really hard to use in the jungle, but they are viable junglers. Next would be the B tier, and these are the types of champions that would need to snowball in the early game to become more effective. Examples that show this would be Fizz, Kayle, Zed, Yasuo, Yone, Gragas, Camille, and Echo. Almost all of the champions in the B tier require to have a strong early game in order to become effective throughout, because if they fall behind in the early stages of the game, they would have little to no use when it comes to the mid to late game stages. One champion in particular that I would want to discuss is Yone, because he is one of the newest champions released. Yone is viable in the jungle, but he's kinda hard to use because his early game is really slow and he needs 2 items to become effective. Once you're able to complete 2 items on Yone, then you're gonna reach your power spike and become more effective in fights. But before the 2 items, his clear is quite average and his duels are not that strong, so he needs to AFK farm the jungle similar to Master Yi and get his items before becoming a threat in the game. One thing good about jungle Yone is that you could easily steal objectives by the use of the 3rd skill ulti plus smite and then immediately go back for a safe steal. Next tier would be the A tier, and these are the types of champions that are good throughout the game and are quite meta. One champion that I would like to highlight is Gwen, and she is also another viable jungler, and I placed her in the A tier because she has decent clearing ability, strong duel potential, and strong late game carry. The only problem with Gwen is that she doesn't have a lot of crowd control, and she is a bit team reliant on her kit because she would need to have items and have someone to engage so that she would be able to freely hit in a team fight. Another notable mention is Ramos. As you could see, he is currently in the A tier. As seen in the Riot statistics, he has a 56% win rate, even in Diamond Plus, which shows the strength of this champion. I'm not particularly a Ramos fan, but if people are able to make him work due to his strong ganking as well as tank ability, then he deserves to be in a higher tier. Because if you compare him to my previous tier list, he was B or even C. Now he's in the A tier, where I think is a decent spot for this champion. Next is the S tier, and there are currently only 4 champions in this tier, which are Olaf, Shyvana, Rengar, and Morgana. Olaf has always been in the S tier and has the possibility to become S+ depending on an enemy composition if they don't have much dashes in their kit, and even though they have a lot of crowd control, Olaf can just negate it by the use of his ultimate. Shyvana, another stable S tier pick. If she is able to farm properly, then she would be able to have the opportunity to carry games. Rengar is slightly one of the weaker S tier picks. He's quite a snowbally champion. What's good about Rengar is that he's very flexible. He could go pure damage, he could go tank, or he could go bruiser. So it's up to you, and it depends on what your team uses or what the enemy team composition is. So that is currently Rengar's greatest strength, and also his ability to be able to pick off targets by the use of his ultimate. Last S tier pick that I would like to talk about is Morgana. She has been bumped up in this patch because even though she doesn't have the strongest carrying potential, her damage is quite good as well as her crowd control, making her very annoying when it comes to the team fights. So what's good about Morgana is that the new Liandry is really good on her. You don't have to get Ryler anymore to make the Liandry effective. All you could do is just spam that 2nd skill. She has good objective take as well and good zoning potential. So if you could use Morgana to her fullest potential, she is definitely an S tier pick this patch. The last tier that I'm going to talk about is the S+ tier. I think it still remains the same, wherein Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, and Vi remain the 3 strongest champions once it comes to the higher rankings. Lee Sin, for obvious reasons, because he could do everything a jungler would want to. Kha'Zix, even though he has been nerfed, is still a pretty strong jungler and very good in picking off squishy targets. Vi, the most versatile jungle at the moment. She could go pure damage, she could go pure tank, she could go both. She can become an initiator, she can be anything the team would want, and is a great blind pick to your composition. Nothing much has changed in the S+ tier. I think only Morgana is the biggest change. I don't think there's any jungler that could beat Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, and Vi at the highest level, and hopefully in the next patches, there would be changes in the S+ tier. So that is it for our jungle tier list, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or any suggestions or any problems that you would want to talk about with regards to the tier list, feel free to comment down below and I would love to talk about it. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and hopefully you learned. Peace out. Ciao, ciao.